This week, the story of the Israelites' redemption from Egyptian enslavement continues in the Torah portion Bo, which is the command form of come, from the book of Exodus. The centerpiece of last week's and this week's readings are the plagues, the wondrous signs from God that were inflicted upon the Egyptians in an escalating manner until Pharaoh finally permitted the Israelites to go from Egypt. The ninth plague has particular resonance this week. Moses held out his arm toward the sky, and thick darkness descended upon all the land of Egypt for 3 days. People could not see one another, and for 3 days no one could get up from where they were. But all the Israelites enjoyed light in their dwellings. The meaning of the plague of darkness has been the subject of debate throughout the ages. The medieval commentator Nachmanides teaches that this darkness was not merely an absence of light, like the darkness of night. Rather, it was like a thick mist that descended from heaven. While Nachmanides focuses on the physical properties of the darkness, the Torah Rebbe is concerned about the effects darkness had on the Egyptians, as he teaches the darkness of not being able to see your neighbor, not being able to understand their distress and help them, is the worst darkness. The Katav Sofer, who lived in the 19th century, sees what is perhaps both a cause and an effect of darkness, as he teaches, when a person does not see others or want to see them, there is darkness in the world. The plague of darkness that befell the Egyptians was an absolute darkness that left each one of them unseen and without anyone to comfort their distress or to offer them aid. How frightening, how desolate this must have been for them. 2 days ago, we had an historic opportunity to consider the darkness that has fallen on America in recent years. A darkness that was the work of human hands and of an amoral but devastating virus. During the inauguration of President Joseph R. Biden and Vice President Kamala D. Harris, Americans were offered the spoken words of a 22-year-old poet and activist, Amanda Gorman. Her words activated, illuminated, and electrified America and the world as people soaked in her poem written for just that day. I shared a portion of Ms. Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb, earlier, but her prophetic witness is worth repeating. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. After what felt to me like an interminable epic of anger, hate, division, fear, and hopelessness, her words were like the dawn itself, blooming and showing us, reminding us of a better way. Amanda Gorman brought light to the darkness shortly after 12 noon on January 20th. The Hill We Climb ends with a challenge and a promise. There is always light if only we're brave enough to see it. There is always light if only we're brave enough to be it. On this Shabbat Eve, can you imagine reaching bravely into yourself to see through the thick mist of darkness, to see the light in your neighbor's eyes? Can you put aside the frustration and enmity that has plagued your relationships with friends, family, and fellow citizens who have cloaked themselves in darkness and who have perpetuated ideas that you find disturbing or even repugnant? Tonight, can you peer into a mirror bravely and understand that the face looking back at you is light? Through the covenant, we are each a part of the radiance that is the light unto the nations. May each of us be able to be the light that lifts up our nation and carries each of us into the dawn of a new morning. Shabbat Shalom.